Good morning, my friends. Actually, it's not the morning, I lie. It's 12:25, so good afternoon, my friends, and happy Thursday. It's Vlogmas Day 2 today. I hope you're all doing well and that you enjoyed yesterday's first day installment. I have just, actually, speaking of videos, I've actually just finished editing that video, so it's really weird to say I hope you enjoyed it when it's actually not even up yet. It took me about 3 hours to edit that vlog because I just talked about so much stuff. Anyway, it was a tough edit this morning, but we got it done. It's so strange, like in real life I am a quiet person. Like I don't talk to anyone. Like I'm really shy and introverted and quiet, and I'll talk if I need to, but you know, put a camera in front of my face and just leave me to it and I'll just talk and talk and talk and ramble on about anything. It's the strangest thing. But if you were to actually meet me in real life or see me out in the wild or whatever it is, I'm really quiet and I don't talk to anyone. So I really don't know what it is. I don't know why I seem to want to just chat about nonsense, but that's okay. It's like chatting to a friend that is there and I'm here, so it's cool. Here is a fun little behind the scenes thing for you. I have this notebook and this is my YouTube notebook. It has all of my ideas in it. I don't know when I started it, but I've had it for quite a while. Let's see if I can find something that's got a date on it. I usually date everything and now I can't find a date on anything. 2017. My gosh. And I've been doing YouTube a lot longer than that, but I have this little notebook and every time I have an idea or a vlogging series I like to do, I always write down all of my ideas and things that I think would be fun to do during Vlogmas in this little notebook. So we've got Vlogmas 2021 and then all of the ideas. I wonder if you can read some of them. Yeah, just having a look at some things that we can possibly do today. I really want to start my Christmas quilt, but I'm still waiting for fabric. But we still got tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow it might come. So I can't quite do that. So that's okay. But I think I might do, there's a foundation paper piecing project that I was going to do before Vlogmas, but I didn't get a chance to do it. So I might just do that today because it's a really fun little project. And it's been sitting on my sewing room table and I'm like, oh, I gotta start that. I think we might do that today. I'm going to finalize the vlog, get that all up. I might actually have a bite to eat for lunch. And then we're going to do a fun little foundation paper piece project. I'm very excited. I haven't done a foundation paper piece project on the channel in a very long time, and this project has been inspired by the Harry Potter quilt that I showed you yesterday. That quilt is purely foundation paper pieced, except for like the sashing and borders and stuff, but yeah, all of the blocks are FPP. So I'm still sort of like in that brain sort of place, that creative space of foundation paper piecing, and yeah, just want to share the love with you guys and hopefully some inspiration too. So I'm going to stop rambling because I am just like and yeah, I'll catch up with you a little bit later on in the day. What am I doing? We're going to open the advent calendar because as I was editing yesterday's vlog, all I could think about was what's in the advent calendar, and today I get to open one of the little advent gifts that Nikki has sent me in our advent calendar swap. So I'm excited to open it and see what's in there. I watched her vlog from yesterday, watching her open her box that I gave her and read the card and stuff like that, so it was very exciting. So she's doing the same thing as I am, and she's opening her advent calendar gifts every second day like me. So the day that I open one in my advent box, then she'll open one as well. So I like how that sort of worked out and we didn't even plan it. I'm going to do labels first because it's so much fun opening this yesterday. Alright, let's see if I can find number 2. I found it yesterday. Oh, here it is. It's here. So day 2, we have another lovely window. Yesterday we had a window. Today we have another one. And this one's got a lovely sailboat sort of image. I love it. Okay. Day 2, let's have a look and see what we've got. We've now learnt that it's double layered. Oh no. I can't get it out. Ooh! Oh, these ones are cool. How lovely is that? Just a really sweet little handmade label. It's got metallic stitching. Yeah, it's really lovely. And then on the back, it's just got a little maker's mark. So just like yesterday, we've got 3 of those. How sweet. I know we're only on day 2, but I really love this calendar. Woo! Okay, so let's pop them in a little tin with gorgeous koalas from yesterday. Happy days. Happy days. Alright, let's move on to our lovely Advent swap calendar. If you missed out on yesterday's vlog, I mentioned that I am doing an Advent calendar swap with a fellow Aussie YouTuber up in Queensland. Her name is Nikki, and she reached out to me asking whether we want to do an Advent calendar swap. And I said yes. So we decided to do 12 days, and I decided to open mine every second day. And just as I mentioned, she's decided to do that too. So it's the 2nd, and we're going to open our first little gift. If you're interested to know what I gifted her in her calendar, then make sure to check out her Vlogmas over on her YouTube channel. It is called Nick's Days, and I will link it down in the description box below. Go over and show her some love and say hi for me, and I hope you enjoy the content that she makes just like I do. So I have this lovely box here in front of me. It says Merry Christmas. This looks very much like a cricket design. My sister-in-law has a cricket and she is obsessed with it, and she does amazing things. So I'm pretty sure this is cricket. It's got a gorgeous little bow at the front. So let's open it and have a look. Oh, it's magnetic. Oh, that's satisfying. Oh, small things, small things. Oh. Wow, that's so pretty. Wow, oh my gosh, we definitely do. Wow, we definitely do have the same kind of wrapping style. I pretty much did almost the same kind of thing, but yours is just so much more prettier. I just sort of like went for the, I don't know what kind of style I went for, but I did the brown sort of wrapping and the twine and the little numbers, and oh, I love it. Anyway, there's a lovely card here, and so I'm gonna read it. Oh, it's got like doors on it and stuff. Is this an advent calendar in an advent calendar? That's really cool. That's awesome. Ooh. Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright. Ooh. Oh, she's giving me little clues on the back of the labels for each little parcel. Oh my gosh. That's so exciting. And this card is also a little mini advent card as well, so you can actually open the little doors. So that means I get to open 2 today. Oh wow, I've never seen these sort of cards before. Oh, I don't want to ruin it. Oh, that's so sweet. Okay, I'll do number 2 and then I'll show you what we've got here. Oh, I love it. Okay, that's awesome. Alright, here we go. This is door 1, it's a little reindeer, and then door 2 I opened it up and it was a Santa. So we'll open that up as well. That's such a clever card. Nice. I love it. I've got number 1. Look at how lovely she's wrapped everything. I feel so special. We've got number 1, and on the back our little clue is something to hold on to. How interesting. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Oh, I love it. Oh, that's really nice. It's almost sort of like on the on my wavelength of my labels calendar. It's a little zipper pull and it says handcrafted. I love that. Something to hold on to. Yeah. That's so clever. Thank you so much, Nikki. Just trying to like think of something I can put it on that I use all the time. We'll have to think about that one, but I love it. Thank you so much. I'm so looking forward to the next one now. I have to wait until Saturday. Never mind. Okay, oh, let's take a deep breath. Settle down from all of that excitement. This is going to be a good vlogmas, guys. It's going to be so exciting. Talking about exciting things. Let's chat about the project we're going to do today. As I mentioned in the earlier part of this vlog, this little project that we're going to do today, it will possibly go into tomorrow as well, because I'm not going to be able to finish this all today. I wanted to do in a vlog before Vlogmas, but you know, life gets in the way. You get caught up in housework and, you know, family stuff, so it just didn't happen. But we're going to make another little wall hanging for my wall. We previously did the little Mickey and Minnie embroidery, and we've done a spool and a little bee, but yeah, this one's going to be another little wall hanging, and it's this one. It's by Quiet Play, and it's a foundation paper piece sort of block. It just says create, and it's just got a lovely little row of flying geese underneath it. And once it's finished, it will be a 10 by 15 inch block. So I think it'll be like a pretty cool kind of like sign that will sort of inspire me to create. It is a paid for pattern, it's not a free pattern. I'm always more than happy to pay for patterns to support fellow designers and to achieve and succeed in being a pattern maker. So if you want to make this, you will have to buy it. But I do have to say, the Quiet Play patterns are so good. They're so easy to follow. They're really they're laid out so well. Comes with some really great instructions, and then this is, oh, if I can get it, oh my gosh, this is the pattern piece, or a couple of the pattern pieces. They're really simple, like really well laid out and easy to follow compared to some of the patterns that I've just done for my Harry Potter quilt. Some of those foundation paper piecing patterns were like intense. So yeah, that's the pattern we're going to be doing. And if you yourself would like to make this, then of course I will link the pattern down in the description box, as well as the link to her shop. Now let's move on to the fabric that I've chosen to use. Actually, I haven't chosen. I'm still like weighing up. I still don't really know which one I'm going to be using, but I want to chat the fabric that I'm going to be using. So this one comes with a little bit of a story, and I want to share with you. So I'm assuming that you all know by now that during the year here in Sydney / New South Wales, almost / Australia, there was quite a long period of time where we were all in lockdown because of the great unpleasantness. That's what I like to call COVID, the great unpleasantness, because it's just been very unpleasant. But during that time I had a lovely package of fabric sent to my PO box, and it took me forever to be able to go get it because we were in lockdown. I couldn't leave my area, so it sat in my PO box for I think maybe about 2 months, and then I finally picked it up, and it was a beautiful curated fat quarter bundle sent to me from an online store called the Stitch Saloon. It's run by a lovely lady named Claire, and she's down in South Australia, and she just sent me a beautiful bundle in the mail to sort of cheer me up during lockdown, and I just thought it was the most loveliest thing ever. This is the bundle she sent me. So she gave me this beautiful print and then matched all of these beautiful solids with it, and I just think it's absolutely gorgeous. I was like, oh, that's so pretty and so like generous of her to do that. This is the little card that came with it. So the Stitch Saloon, and I'm going to turn around, and this is all of her details. So modern curated fabrics and heirloom quilts inspired by tradition, and she has such a lovely website. She has a beautiful range of fabrics to choose from, which leads me to the other day I was doing a little bit of unpicking with my amazing Clover seam ripper, which it's just the most amazing tool. If you don't have the Clover seam ripper, then go get one because they're amazing. Well, it broke. Even though I've just said they were amazing, but no, I was trying to get a zipper out of an old pair of jeans, so the stitching was really hard, and like it was just too much. Like the stitching was really thick, and I pushed my seam ripper to the max and it broke, and I was like, oh no, my beautiful seam ripper. But luckily the day before that I saw on the Stitch Saloon Instagram that she had just stocked some of the Clover seam rippers. I was like, I'm gonna go buy one, because I found that these ones are really hard to find. I don't know why. So I thought, oh, I'll go on there and I'll buy one. And then I also bought some more fabrics as well. Oh my gosh, look at that beautiful selvage. I'm getting distracted. I'm getting distracted. So I purchased another curated fat quarter bundle, and it's these beautiful fabrics here. Oh, now look at that. How well has she matched those up? It's beautiful. I should know what the fabrics are, but I don't. I just look at the prints and I'm like, that's so pretty. And then I picked up 3 sort of like extra fabrics. So this one with the little orange crosses on it. This next one is by Ruby Star Society, and all the stuff that they make is just amazing. And this is by Alexia Marcel Beg. I've made quilts with some of her fabric, and oh my gosh, I love her designs. But look at how beautiful that selvage is. So this is from the range Heirloom, I believe. But I just, oh my gosh, I just love this color. It's so like luxurious and divine, and I just like, I want to swim in it because it's just so like dark and rich and luscious, and whoa. And then I also got this lovely pink with the crosses, the same as the mustard one, and I think this one is another designer one. I only know if it's a designer one if it actually has the selvage on it and it tells me what it is. So I do apologize for not knowing. So these ones with the little crosses on it, it's another Ruby Star Society, and there is the beautiful selvage. I mean, holy moly, look at that. It's like an art piece on the edge of your fabric. It's crazy. So anyway, I got these beautiful fabrics from Claire at the Stitch Saloon, and so I want to use these fabrics in my little wall hanging. Now it's just deciding which one. So there's a really sweet little fabric haul for you. So I discovered the Stitch Saloon through Claire sending me a beautiful fat quarter bundle because she's a viewer, and I am so for supporting my viewers' businesses. If they got a little fabric business or a little haberdashery business or a pattern business, I am more than happy to plug it for you and share it with the rest of the world. And I just think it was just such a lovely gesture, so caring and lovely, and so I'm paying it forward. I'm sharing her beautiful store with the rest of the world. So thank you, Claire, for reaching out and sharing your beautiful business with me, and I'm more than happy to share it with everyone else for you as well. Yay! She didn't ask me to, by the way. This is all me. This is all me sharing the love and just, yeah, just sharing the Vlogmas spirit, I suppose. I don't know. So with all of that said, I still haven't decided what I'm going to do, what fabrics I want to use. I should really look at like how much fabric I should be using. Let me sort that out and I'll come back to you. Okay, I think I've made my decision and I'm really excited about this. It's gonna look great. Okay, so for the background, I'm going to use this white with, is it white or cream? Oh, it looks white, with the little orange crosses for the background. And I'm going to use this beautiful floral. I think this is from, oh yeah, there we go. This is from Art Gallery Fabrics, and the collection is called Spirited. So this will be our create. These are going to be our flying geese. So I've kind of tried to sort of match the colors from the print. So these two are from the bundle that came with this fabric. And then I've popped these 2 Ruby Star Society fabrics in there, and I think that looks really nice, sort of like breaking up this print with the solid. And then we're going to use this one for the binding because I love a stripe binding. And again, this one is Art Gallery Fabrics, I think I saw. Yes. And this is from the collection The Open Road. Oh my gosh, that is such a beautiful color palette. These are kind of colors that I've never sort of mixed together before, but I think it's going to look really great. Yes! So what I thought of doing for this project is I'm going to do like a really quick kind of, not kind of like tutorial, but step by step of how I do my foundation paper piecing. I do actually have a tutorial that I did like ages and ages and ages and ages ago. It was actually one of my very first tutorial videos where I actually show you how to do foundation paper piecing, and a lot of you have actually been reaching out and telling me that through that tutorial or that video that I did is how you learn how to foundation paper piece. So it's actually really quite cool that a lot of you have stuck around since then or have found me through that tutorial, and that I was able to teach you something and teach you like one of the coolest a fundamental patchwork skill that will just take you anywhere and everywhere. But yeah, it's a really great skill to learn. So if you want to actually learn how to do it, then I'll link that tutorial down below. But just beware, I did make it quite a while ago, so it might be like a little bit, I don't know, naff, I don't know. But I will be showing you now just the basic steps that I take when I'm paper piecing. So I'll just do maybe 1 or 2 little templates or pieces. We're actually going to do the flying geese, I think, because they're quite easy. And then the rest of the pieces I'll possibly kind of do just on my own, or as like a time lapse or something like that, you know, this kind of thing that I usually do. As I mentioned, we possibly won't finish this all today. It'll possibly be like a 2-day thing, but that's alright. I'm cool with that. I'm more than happy to sort of take my time on this little project while I wait for my fabrics to start my Christmas quilt. You're possibly all like totally sick of me saying Christmas quilt, you gotta wait, you gotta wait, you gotta wait. I'm sure it'll be worth the wait. I hope, because I'm really excited about it. But anyway, let's make and create. I mean, holy moly, look at how beautiful these fabrics are. This is only just for the flying geese. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. While my camera was charging, I just did a nice fresh press of these fabrics and they just look so divine. I can't stop touching them. Before we start, I thought I'd just show you a couple of the different little tools I like to use when I'm foundation paper piecing. First of all, I love to use one of these. This is a Clover serrated tracing wheel, and we're going to use this to make some holes in our pattern, and I'll show you that in a moment. By using this tool, it just helps you rip away the paper at the end. Also helps you to fold over the lines in the paper, and yeah, you'll see what I mean. But I definitely love using this to prep my paper pieces before I start sewing. That's really hard to say. I also really love using the smaller rotary wheel because we're doing just a lot of little quick cuts, so the smaller wheel is always the easiest. And then I also love using the smaller square as well. This is a 4.5 inch set square ruler, and again, because we're doing really small little intricate sort of cuts, it's easier to use a smaller ruler. You can use pins if you want, but I don't bother anymore. I just sort of hold it all together with my fingers, and that's pretty much it. Oh no, one more thing. Last thing is just some simple basic paper glue, and I will show you why in a moment. Alright, let's get into it. This is the piece we're going to be starting with. As you can see, we've got a 1 inch square to make sure we've got the right size pattern, and I'm pretty sure it's 1 inch. Yes! So before I actually prep this with our tracing wheel, I'm actually going to colour in with some pencils the colours I want each triangle to be, just so I know what colours I'm using for what triangle. It doesn't have to be neat. As you can see, I definitely know how to stain the lines. By just colour coding everything, it just helps me to be like, oh, now I'm using this fabric for that triangle, I gotta prep this colour for that triangle, so on and so forth. So I always recommend to do that if you're working from a blank pattern and you're using lots of different sort of colours as well. Next up, I'm going to use my little ruler and our serrated wheel to create sort of like a dotted serrated line along every line that we're actually going to sew. So this is going to be a line that we're going to sew on. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. By doing this step, it just helps with ripping away the pattern at the end. It also helps with being able to fold over this. Oops, I didn't do that very well. It also helps to fold, oh my gosh, it also helps to accurately fold over the line when you're up to sewing this line or this section. It's just an extra little step that I learnt when I was learning how to do foundation paper piecing, and I've done it ever since, and it's just such a helpful, handy little trick just to make life easier, because there's nothing worse than getting paper stuck between seams and seams popping and all that sort of stuff. So this just helps to eliminate that problem. So I'm going to do it on both pieces. Don't worry about doing it on these lines around the edge, because you're not going to be sewing on those lines. It's only the lines within this sort of frame kind of thing. So I'm going to do this one first because it's the most easiest. So I'm just going to just roughly cut it out. So you can see we've got lots of numbers. We've got this line here, and then we've also got a serrated line. So between the serrated line and like the full line, that's your 1/4 inch seam allowance. So you always want to make sure that your fabric's reaching past this serrated line, because at the end we're actually going to cut along that line to square it all up. So we can see there's got numbers all over it. We're going to start with K1. We're going to fill this space in, and then we're going to move on to K2. Then K3, K4, K5, K6, so on and so forth until we've done all of them, including K11, and then we will be trimming it up. When I'm cutting fabrics for my pieces, I do a really rough sort of cut. So I'm going to just put that there, and I'm roughly going to just measure by eye that this piece that we're measuring past this line more than 1/4 inch. And then on this side, obviously we're going to reach past 1/4 inch here. So I'm actually going to cut a strip just along here of that thickness that will cover this spot. It'll also cover this, and then as we start cutting it down, we'll have pieces to fill in all of these bits for our background. So I'm about to cut the first piece for our big rectangle here that we're starting with. I'm just making sure the part for this section, or the fabric that's underneath it, measures more than 1/4 inch past the lines or the boundaries of that section. This is the boundary here, and if I fold it over, then it's more than 1/4 inch here, and it's the same for all the other sides. So I'm just going to do a rough cut. Lots of rough cuts, and then that's our piece that's going to fit in here. So to start, we're going to get our glue stick, and on the back of where it says K1, I'm going to do a really quick little dab. Doesn't have to be anything too intense, just enough to be able to hold the fabric there. We're going to put our fabric right side facing down, so then our pattern piece will go on the back of the fabric, and we're just making sure that the boundaries again of K1 is within the boundaries of our fabric, and that we have 1/4 inch along all of the boundaries. So from here we're going to work from K1 and upwards this way. So we're going to do K2. So we're going to fold the line over between K1 and K2 and fold it along our little perforated line that we made with our tracing wheel. With our ruler, we put our 1/4 inch seam line along the top of the fold. So where the fold in the paper is, put the line on top of it, and we're going to trim that seam down to 1/4 inch. Ta-da! So you can sort of see this is the triangle that we're going to be putting some fabric on, and we've got a 1/4 inch seam allowance here to sew. So I've just got a really rough piece of our next fabric, and I've just made sure that as I've cut it, it stretches past all of the boundaries of K2, or our first little triangle. Right side's facing, so we've got the right side here of our first piece, and then the right sides of the square below. And so right sides together, and we're going to put our straight edges next to each other, just like that. Now we're going to open our piece up. This is an option where you can pin it into place if you want to, or you can stay like me and just hold it with your fingers. And what we're going to do now is at the sewing machine, we're going to sew from this point here all the way down this line, separating K1 to K2 up to this point here. So just along this line between those two sections. On the sewing machine, bring your stitch length right down. We want to have it maybe 2, maybe a little bit less than 2, and it will just help your seams from popping when you tear away the paper. So I have it just under 2 on my machine. So we're going to sew from that corner all the way to this corner here. Oh, might just turn that down a little bit. Okay, so just sewing on top of the line. So you can see our tiny little stitches. If I turn it over, you'll be able to see tiny little stitches. So making them that small, possibly may have made them a little bit too small, but that's okay. Now what we're going to do is now we flip it over, and either with a nice steamy iron or one of these, this is a clover seam presser, I think. You can fold it over and just press the seam. So that is 1, 2 done. Now we're going to flip it back over and we're going to do K3. So to do that, we fold over the line between K2 and K3, and our serrated lines will help us get that nice and accurate. With our ruler and blade, we line up our 1/4 inch seam line again on our ruler along the folded edge, and we trim down that seam allowance. Then with a rough cut piece of the backing fabric, going to pop that on top, right sides facing, making sure that the fabric underneath will reach past all of the lines for that section. Open it up, and we're going to sew from this point all the way down to this point. And there we go, there's our line sewn. So with our little pressing tool, just open that up and press it nice and firmly along that line, and you can kind of start seeing our lovely flying geese triangle coming to life. So now we're going to flip it back over, fold over the line between K2 and K4, and then we're going to cut it off. Just another rough cut piece of backing fabric or background fabric. Open it up and then sew from this point all the way to this point. Gonna open it up and press that seam, and look, we have a little triangle, a little flying geese. Hello, sir. So from here, I'm just going to follow the exact same steps to do the next 3 sections. So I actually went ahead and just sewed up both pieces, and as I was finishing this one, I realized I had colored all of these pieces in to be able to like follow along with the right fabrics, but I ended up doing the wrong fabrics. But it actually worked out in my favor, because it meant that this one, which I'll only be doing one of, actually ended up being in the middle. So it worked, but just make sure you're paying attention to using the right fabrics that you've coloured in the pattern, if that's how you're doing it, and don't do what I did. But they're now both sewn together, and now I'm just going to trim them down. So I'm just going to follow the perforated line with the ruler and just trim them off so that we end up with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So there's our 2 little pieces all trimmed up, and you'll see on the back they are now nice and neat with our 1/4 inch seam allowance around the edges. So now I'm going to give them a good press. I'm actually going to spray them with a little bit of starch just so that they sort of hold their shape a little bit, and then we'll start ripping off the paper. That's our first little piece for our little wall hanging. What I did is I just sewed the 2 pieces together, so this was K and L, and you just sew them together in the center just with a 1/4 inch seam, and it's your 2 pieces sewn together. Yeah, so now we just have to move on to the create bit. I love it, it looks so beautiful. I really like it, it's so pretty. This colorway is so nice, it's so mellow and chill. Love it. So I'm going to say goodbye for the day. Thank you all so much for joining me for Vlogmas Day 2. I am so happy with where this is going. It looks so pretty. I just really love these colours. They're so pretty. Tomorrow we'll do the bit that says create, and then if we're feeling up to it, we'll keep going and maybe even finish it. I don't know, put it out into the universe. It may happen, it may happen. But today I feel has been a pretty good day. So thanks for coming along and joining me, and I will see you all again tomorrow. Bye bye.